Bill Gates' world domination comes to a head. Mind you, we kind of dropped the ball on that whole Rodney King issue. Oh boy.
If anyone had ever told me a few years ago
16 nabbed
that
on
we
a
would
dead
ever
man's
read
chest.
headlines like these in American newspapers, I would have called him crazy.
Labor
Yet here
outlawed?
we
Well,
are,
when the hell did this happen?
in the middle of the 20th century in the United States of America, hundreds and hundreds of teenage boys and girls are becoming hopeless dope addicts every year. It's fantastic.
And why would the government
It's
fib about
unbelievable
that?
and it's terrible, but it's true. The government maintains 2 hospitals just to treat drug addicts at Lexington, Kentucky, and Fort Worth, Texas. It used to be a rare thing for a juvenile to be admitted, but look at these recent figures. And remember,
Why, this
these
crap
are
knows
only
all and sees
confirmed
all.
addicts
Bow down before
who
it!
have come to the attention of federal authorities. How many others are still only occasional users of marijuana or heroin, morphine,
Whoops,
or in
looks
some
like
cases
somebody's
sleeping
dubbed
pills?
actor kind
It's
of
pretty
fell
hard
asleep on
to
the job.
estimate. But there's one sure thing. Nobody is going to stay an occasional user very long. This is one game nobody beats. If you use narcotics,
Screw you,
before long you'll
sunshine.
have the habit. About the hardest in the world to break. And the dope addicts say, you're hooked. Well, how does one become hooked? The simplest way to
Scientology's my
answer that
guess.
is to talk to someone who has had the experience. This is the home of Mr. and Mrs. Walter Howard. They just got their teenage daughter back after a 6-month nightmare that even Edgar Allan Poe couldn't have improved on.
She was mauled by werewolves under the full moon last Tuesday.
Mrs. Howard agrees to let us talk to her daughter, Phyllis, when we explain that we could use her case to help others avoid the same mistake.
Oh, she got a little huffy, but we slipped her a couple of C notes and she quieted right down.
This is Phyllis as she looked 6 months ago. A
Well,
senior
she's
in
no
high
Audrey
school,
Hepburn, but
pretty as
still a real
picture.
piece of woman, let me tell you.
Just recently, she was released from the narcotic ward at the county jail.
Ah,
in the
Buddy Hackett
custody
and
of her
drag.
parents. It's hard to believe that this girl is the same as the one in the picture.
Sorry for the
But it
reverb, I'm
doesn't
recording in
take
the
long for the
bathroom.
drug habit to make anyone over. Phyllis wasn't anxious to talk about her experiences with dope, but she
Well,
could
they're
see
decent
how
metal,
her
but I'm
story
more of a
might be
Pantera
used
fan.
to help others, and she began to talk.
Premature sex. I mean, can I have a soda? Why is she hanging out with 40-somethings?
I guess I knew about reefers. That's marijuana, ever since junior high. Some of the boys smoked them. The ones
Let's
who couldn't
rob
get along
Walgreens
who were
again!
afraid of
Woo!
it. You know, the ones with no backbone.
Oh, darn. I ran out of gas. I guess we'll have to make out now.
In high school, my girlfriend Ann and I went around with Jim and Bob.
Jim's a cutter, just so he can feel again.
They both smoked pot. That's jive talk for marijuana. And after a
Puff,
while,
puff, give,
Ann and I
Annie.
got so that we did too.
Unfortunately, their doobie was laced with PCP, and they died in a shootout with the cops.
It's funny what it does to you.
Woo!
Everything
Sorry,
speeds
let one
up
go.
to 100
Let me just
miles an
wave that
hour.
out.
You think you're real sharp, and you laugh a lot.
Gotta hurl.
You feel like you're the biggest person in the world.
Kick out your asses. Step up.
But I didn't feel so good when I came home high that night. My dad knew
Birth
something
control
was wrong.
pills?
but
What
he
the
didn't know
hell?
what. Mother was sure her daughter would never do anything bad. I'd been smoking pot for quite a while
Just
before I
hit the
met
flavor
Chuck.
country, boss.
I guess he was what the newspapers call a peddler. He supplied the kids at school with whatever they wanted. Most of them
They
used
didn't
reefers
want me
like
to
us.
stare. They wouldn't wear those
But some
floor-length
liked stronger
skirts.
things. There was something intriguing and different about
Remember,
Chuck.
kids, support
I
Trump,
guess
and
I
everything will
appealed
be
to
white
him in some
again.
way too. Anyway, I found out later what it was about him.
Is that
He had
dippity
the
doo
heroin.
use? You racist dollface.
He was hooked. Chuck and I started running around together, and one night he asked me up to his place.
you're so average.
I knew by now he started peddling after he got the habit, so he could get H for himself. He needed a lot, because he had a big habit. You know something about hypes? They're like a disease. They don't like to see
You already have
anybody
his
not
herpes,
using
so
stuff,
it
just
really can't get any
because they
worse.
do. Chuck finally talked me into using heroin. He said it would make him feel better.
Never
So
let Don
I
Draper be your
tried it.
connection, kids.
But I was going to be smart. Just take it or leave it. Nothing was going to happen to me. But before I knew it, I was hooked. Bad. I had a heroin habit as big as Chuck.
A
I hadn't
beautiful
been
mind
home
will
in
return
weeks.
after these messages.
Chuck and I were married, but it didn't matter very much. Nothing does. Not when you're on H. All you think about day and night is dope. How
She'd
much
like
to get, where
cocaine,
to get
heroin,
more,
alcohol,
what to do to get
again. She's my addiction,
then
my
they got
addiction.
They had to eventually, I knew that, but it didn't matter much.
Yeah, booked him for
Nothing good
peddling
except
Kardashian pictures again.
All of a
When will
sudden
he
it hit me.
learn?
If Chuck had seen the cops coming, he might have got rid of our supply.
All right, boys, we're off for Sonic to get a frozen cherry lime Coca-Cola.
That's what happened. Chuck got rid of everything.
Adrian Barbeau checks her
Probably in the
stash.
garbage disposal. Oh, that's a favorite trick of Hype's when they're going to be arrested. But it left me in an awful spot.
Her
I needed
OCD
to
makes her
fix
clean the
that.
house twice.
So bad I didn't care whether I lived or died. And I didn't know whether I'd ever get another
Damn
cat.
neighbors are playing that stupid ranchero music again. When did I move to Florida?
In the meantime, Phyllis's parents had nearly gone crazy. They hadn't seen or heard from their daughter in months. Mr. Howard checked every newspaper story that might by any remote chance have to do
can I get
with
my
Phyllis.
agent? This film is
But
really
gradually their
pretentious.
hopes died. They were almost convinced she was dead.
Large
But I wasn't
pepperoni
dead.
pizza, some
I
Pepsi,
tried
and
once to kick off
breadsticks.
the habit,
Okay, 10
but I
minutes?
was too
All
far
right, bye
gone.
then.
You know, the police say, find a heroin addict and you find a criminal.
Canada's prescription
And that's
care
just
at
about
work.
it. If you're hooked bad, it costs about $30 a day for H. Boys get the money by stealing or swiping car parts, maybe by holdups. Girls take up street walking or do what I did.
Nude
Become
yoga?
peddlers themselves.
Oh, yeah, that would have
When
been my
Chuck
next
went
guess.
to jail, I used his contacts and peddled dope myself.
Clocked you going
Sure, I
over
knew it was
15
wrong,
miles,
but when
missy.
you're hooked, you can't help yourself. They got me eventually, too.
Damn,
just like
tax
they did
evasion gets
Chuck.
you every time.
And when I was arrested, I was almost glad. I told them I wanted help. I wanted to try and kick it off.
Then I had a
It
star
was
in chained
horrible.
heat.
5 days, and I didn't care whether I lived or died. It feels like your skin is being torn right off you, and then you ache all over and get sick and you can't breathe.
Like
Your
sitting through a
nose
Dan
runs
Cook
and you
movie.
have a high fever, and then you pass out, but when you wake up, it starts all over again.
Wow, her cellmate is
days.
friendly.
But I was lucky. I kicked it off, and I've never used dope since. Maybe what happened to me will keep it from happening to somebody else. Or I don't even want to talk about it. And all I
Yeah,
hope
I've never
is
been
that
so bored in my
someday
life. Thank you
I can
very much.
forget it.
Well, that's Phyllis's story. In the United States of America, 20th century. Unbelievable, isn't it, that such things can happen? Phyllis's case is typical. Most teenagers start off with marijuana. Then they decide to see if heroin
Share
has
your
any
comb
kick.
over fools
It
no
does.
one.
Sometimes it only takes a few days to find out they can't leave it alone. In order to get money to buy it, they turn to crime. And that's the story. There are practically no happy endings
Well,
when you fool
I've
with
just
drugs.
spout racist comments to
Doctors
my
say
commie
restoring
neighbors.
an addict to normal life is about the toughest thing in medicine. Well, what's the answer?
The answer is 42.
Yes, that's one of them, certainly. In the Far East a few years back, they were lining up dope peddlers and shooting them in the back of the head. But it didn't stop addiction. It just
And it
made
really
it harder for
backlogged the
victims to get the
gravediggers.
stuff. No, the answer is a simple one. Just use your head. Leave narcotics absolutely
all Chuck
alone.
Berry's fault.
Remember what happened to Phyllis and others like her. Talk it over with your parents or school counselor, somebody you have confidence
Maybe your
in.
drug connection.
Some say the Reds are promoting dope
Where
traffic in the
am I?
United States to undermine national morale. They did it in China a few years back.
I
It's
didn't
certainly
get
true
my
that the increased use of
jello.
narcotics plays right into their hands. But why not show everybody, including ourselves, that young American men and women have too much intelligence to make such a stupid, ghastly, tragic mistake?
And
Let's
yet
make
Teen Mom
tomorrow's
is still on the
headlines
air.
Read like this.
The end is nigh.